In a deserted New York City, Dr. Robert Neville, a scientist, is one of the last humans alive. A virus meant to cure cancer has wiped out humanity, leaving the infected as dark-seeking mutants. Neville roams the empty streets by day with his loyal dog, Sam. He collects supplies, broadcasts messages, and searches for a cure. His main hope is that someone out there might still be listening to his broadcasts.
Each day, Neville navigates the haunting silence of the city, carefully avoiding dark buildings where the infected hide. The mutants, called Dark Seekers, are sensitive to sunlight and come out only at night. As he moves around, Neville gathers food and supplies, maintaining a strict routine to stay alive. The loneliness of his existence weighs heavily on him, and his only companion, Sam, offers him a glimmer of comfort.
Back in his lab, Neville works tirelessly on a cure. He uses his own blood, which seems immune to the virus, to experiment on captured Darkseekers. His life is a mix of hope and despair, with days blending into each other. He watches old recordings, trying to understand where things went wrong. Memories of his family haunt him, reminding him of what he has lost and the world that once was.
Every night, Neville locks himself and Sam in a fortified home. He blocks every window and door, keeping the Darkseekers out. The nights are terrifying, filled with the sounds of creatures trying to get inside. Neville stays alert, listening carefully. This routine is his life, survival in a city that once thrived. He clings to his mission, believing that a cure could save the few survivors who might be out there.
One day, Neville spots a group of deer and tries to catch one for food. Suddenly, a lion appears, showing that the animals have taken over the city. The scene is surreal. Wild creatures roam freely in the heart of New York. This strange new world has forced both human and animal to adapt. Neville realizes that he must be as resourceful and cautious as these creatures if he wants to survive.
While searching a building, Neville is caught in a trap set by the Darkseekers, a clear sign of their intelligence. He hangs helplessly, and as night approaches, he struggles to escape before the Darkseekers come out. Finally, he frees himself but is injured. Sam helps him get back to safety. The experience shakes Neville, making him realize the creatures are smarter and more dangerous than he thought.
That night, a group of Darkseekers finds Neville's home. He and Sam barely survive the attack. Neville is heartbroken, knowing the infected are evolving, learning. He realizes he's not just fighting mindless creatures, but a new form of intelligence. He strengthens his home defenses, determined to protect what little he has left. This battle pushes him to work even harder on his research, hoping to end this nightmare.
One day, Neville captures a female Darkseeker to test his cure. He brings her to his lab, carefully monitoring her reactions. The experiment is risky, but Neville believes he's close to a breakthrough. He notices slight changes in her condition, which gives him hope. His dedication to finding a cure is driven not only by science but by his desire to save humanity and restore the world he once knew.
While hunting for supplies, Neville sees a mannequin he had placed outside his home, mysteriously moved. It's a disturbing moment, as he begins to wonder if the Darkseekers are toying with him. This encounter rattles him, highlighting the psychological toll of his isolation. The line between reality and fear begins to blur, and Neville starts to feel the intense loneliness and stress of his situation even more deeply.
One day, while rescuing Sam from infected dogs, Neville realizes the virus has affected animals too. Sam is injured, and Neville tries to save her, but the infection spreads too quickly. Heartbroken, he loses his only friend and companion. Sam's death devastates Neville, leaving him completely alone. This loss pushes him to the brink as he faces the harsh reality of his existence without his loyal dog.
With Sam gone, Neville's despair grows. He becomes reckless, nearly losing hope. That night, he drives into a crowd of Darkseekers, ready to end it all. But just as he's about to be overwhelmed, a bright light appears. A woman named Anna and a young boy, Ethan, rescue him, taking him back to safety. For the first time in years, Neville sees other human faces, reigniting a small spark of hope within him.
Anna tells Neville about a survivor colony she believes exists, offering a glimmer of hope. Skeptical but curious, Neville explains his research and the possibility of a cure. He's unsure about joining others, fearing the risk. However, Anna's belief in humanity's survival begins to influence him. For the first time, he considers the possibility that his work might indeed make a difference for others.
As Neville shares his findings with Anna, he feels the weight of his responsibility. He realizes he's not only fighting for his own survival, but for humanity's future. He decides to intensify his efforts to perfect the cure, with Anna and Ethan as his motivation. They remind him of the family he lost, and he feels a renewed sense of purpose. His loneliness begins to fade, replaced by a glimmer of hope.
One night, the Darkseekers locate Neville's lab and launch a fierce attack. The house becomes a battlefield, and Neville fights to protect Anna, Ethan, and his research. His determination to save them and the cure drives him to new levels of bravery. He knows this is his chance to make his work count. The intensity of the attack highlights the Darkseekers' determination, as they view Neville as a threat.
As the Darkseekers close in, Neville realizes that the female he experimented on is part of the attacking group. He observes the leader's anger and desperation to get her back, a sign of their humanity. Neville is stunned, realizing that his experiments may have caused them pain. This revelation shakes his belief about the Darkseekers. He questions whether they truly deserve his hostility, or if they're victims, like him.
In a moment of realization, Neville decides to sacrifice himself to ensure Anna and Ethan's safety. He hands Anna a vial containing the cure, instructing her to take it to the survivor colony. With a sense of purpose, he faces the Darkseekers, determined to protect the last hope for humanity. His bravery and selflessness in this final act showcase his deep commitment to his mission and humanity's survival.
Neville's final stand against the Darkseekers is intense. As they break into his lab, he detonates an explosive, sacrificing himself to save Anna, Ethan, and the cure. His last thoughts are of hope, knowing his work might save humanity. His sacrifice allows Anna and Ethan to escape with the cure, carrying with them Neville's legacy and the hope for a better future. His death becomes a symbol of resilience.
Anna and Ethan journey toward the survivor colony, carrying Neville's cure and the hope of rebuilding society. Neville's sacrifice has inspired them, and they believe his work will be remembered. As they approach the colony, Anna reflects on Neville's bravery and determination. The cure represents a new beginning, and she is filled with gratitude for the man who risked everything for humanity's survival.
Reaching the colony, Anna and Ethan are welcomed by other survivors. They share Neville's story, honoring his legacy. The cure he created gives humanity a chance to rebuild and find hope once more. Neville's memory lives on, inspiring others to keep fighting for a better world. Through his sacrifice, the human spirit is reignited, and the survivors carry his dream forward, determined to restore what was lost.